It was interesting when I was in Dubai, in the Middle East, as they were asking about the show. I informed them about my weekly radio show in the States, and they inquired further. Then, I started contemplating whether it was available there, and it dawned on me, of course, it's accessible over the internet, reaching the entire world simultaneously. I assured them they could tune into the blog and service to access it. It's an amazing feeling to think it reaches the entire world at the same time, even though they are in bed by this time over there. 2 weeks ago, I discussed life after death, but due to time constraints, I couldn't cover all the information in an hour. Tonight, given the proximity to Christmas, I'm considering speaking about my 2 books related to Jesus, focusing on the missing parts in his life. These books, Jesus and They Walk with Jesus, were first published in the 90s in England and are now considered classics, available worldwide in numerous languages. Everywhere I go, people request lectures on these books, as they address the missing parts of Jesus' life, not present in the Bible. Many realize the Bible doesn't contain all the information and has been altered. My work, facilitated through Pre-Hypnosis, hypnosis therapy, and past life regressions, brings forth beautiful stories of miracles or events not in the Bible, portraying Jesus as a true human being, a perspective often overlooked by the Church. The information about Jesus and these scenes first came through about 20 years ago. It all started with a young girl in her 20s who simply wanted to explore the possibility of past lives. As we began the regressions, we discovered she was an excellent synebuistic subject, reaching a level where she fully embodied the other personality. In this state, her current life would fade away, and any reference to objects, phrases, or anything from her present life would be met with confusion if it wasn't known or available during the time period she was reliving. Observing this phenomenon in many individuals has been quite amusing. When deeply immersed in these time periods, they lose awareness of common things familiar to us today. This profound transformation is why I prefer to call my work time travel, akin to navigating through time tunnels. In these deep states, individuals become the other personality from the past, and the current life ceases to exist for them. As the reporter and researcher in these sessions, my goal is to extract information by asking questions and delving into the knowledge available to the person during that specific time period. This approach has enabled me to gather information not known to the general public or that has been forgotten and lost. I consider myself a reporter and researcher of lost knowledge, aiming to reintroduce these impressions to the world. When individuals are in such a deep synebuistic state, they don't retain any memory of the experience upon awakening. They often believe they simply dozed off, unaware that I have recorded hours of their reliving the other life. The young girl from whom I initially gathered the Jesus material was part of this process back in the 80s. During the 80s, I obtained a wealth of valuable material that I've incorporated into many of my books. This period marked the emergence of the Nostradamus material, leading to the creation of 3 books that I'll be discussing in the coming weeks and months. In addition to this, the 80s saw the commencement of my UFO research, where I delved into hundreds of cases related to UFOs and ETs. Concurrently, the material for the Jesus books began to manifest. The journey with the young girl began innocently, as she expressed interest in exploring the possibility of past lives. Starting with her, we embarked on over 30 different past lives, progressively going backward in time. Her ability to fully embody these personalities allowed her to share extensive information about the cultures, backgrounds, civilizations, and theology of each time period. I've written 2 books based on her experiences so far, with the potential for more as her narratives continue to unfold. As we traversed through time, one of her lifetimes brought us to the era of Jesus. Many might be unfamiliar with the community of people associated with the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in the late 1940s and early 1950s at Qumran, located outside Jerusalem, in the hills off the Dead Sea. The ruins, initially assumed to be a Roman garrison, remained largely unexplored due to the harsh climate. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in nearby caves, initially by a shepherd boy, became a groundbreaking moment in history. These scrolls, hidden in large pottery jars, were deemed by scientists as the greatest discovery in the history of mankind, containing original versions of almost all books of the Bible, with a few exceptions. The scrolls also provided insights into the history of the times and stories of the community at Qumran. However, after a few years, this monumental discovery seemed to vanish once again from public attention. It seems as though the knowledge contained in the Dead Sea Scrolls was pushed back into the caves, possibly due to the reluctance of theologians to let certain information reach the public. The scrolls revealed a pre-Christianity existence, suggesting that Christianity did not solely originate with Christ, but had roots in a community known as the Essenes at Qumran. This community operated as a secret school, a mystery school, imparting various mysteries and knowledge to a select few individuals chosen as students. During those times in Israel, even King Herod feared the Essenes because of their possession of secretive knowledge. Many of their teachings and wisdom were traced back to Atlantis, as they were considered survivors and descendants of the Atlantean people. The Essenes documented their knowledge in scrolls, burying them in the caves around 69 AD during the Roman invasion and destruction of the region, attempting to safeguard their information. Unfortunately, the Essenes faced persecution, with many choosing to end their lives rather than divulge their secrets to the Romans. However, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were being investigated and translated, the original board included theologians who were uncomfortable with the information contradicting traditional beliefs. They buried the information again, hoping it would fade away and return in another generation. The challenge was explaining the newfound information to their followers, as it conflicted with the narrative presented in the Bible. In the early stages of religious development, including within the early Christian church, reincarnation was a foundational concept. It made logical sense and was embraced until the Fifth Council in the 5th century AD, where decisions were made about what would be included in the Bible. At this point, the concept of reincarnation was omitted, and many stories related to rebirth and the mythical years of Jesus were left out. The Bible, therefore, was not divinely written but rather assembled by men at the Fifth Council. Subsequently, additional stories and records began to emerge after the Bible's compilation. The multitude of discussions that occurred during that time to determine the contents of the Bible were extensive. Many additional pieces of information surfaced years later, suggesting their inclusion in the Bible. However, the decision-makers expressed regret, stating that it was already finalized. I am not fabricating these details. They are official records available for anyone to discover through research on the writing and history of the Bible. The information I encountered and documented in the Dead Sea Scrolls harkens back to a time before these details were omitted from the Bible. The young girl, who identified as an Essene, had limited education, having completed high school and immediately joined the army to acquire a trade. Despite lacking extensive higher education or travel experience, the information that emerged from her was astonishing. Even an anthropologist might struggle to generate the type of insights she shared, which I incorporated into various books about her experiences. Upon completing my sessions and deciding to write the book Jesus of the Essenes, I consulted rabbis to glean cultural and theological information, particularly regarding the Torah. I did not disclose the specific reason for my inquiries, and one rabbi questioned the source of my information, as such discussions had been absent for 2,000 years. This underscores that the information was not fabricated but rather lost knowledge, dispelling notions of invention or influence. Remarkably, she spoke in Aramaic and could read the language, reinforcing that the insights did not come from external sources. In the past life she revisited, she served as an Essene teacher, specifically a male teacher of the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible concerning Jewish law. My own education deepened during this project, as I lacked prior knowledge of Jewish traditions, the Torah, or Jewish law. Although some questions may seem naive, I intentionally refrained from researching during the project to avoid influence. She served as a master of the Torah at Qumran during the same period when Jesus and John the Baptist were students. This mystery school allowed only selected individuals, as they were imparting secret knowledge in various fields, with each master specializing in different subjects. When Jesus and John the Baptist attended the mystery school at Qumran, they underwent comprehensive learning, starting from childhood. It was remarkable that Jesus displayed an exceptional ability to absorb information rapidly, mastering the teachings in a fraction of the time it took others. While many students focused on a single subject for up to 5 years, Jesus absorbed everything quickly and comprehensively. An especially poignant narrative, especially apropos to Christmas, is the story of the Star of Bethlehem. This account stands out as one of the most beautiful sessions I have ever experienced. The girl, reliving the life of the man who witnessed the event, described the awe and wonder she felt as they observed what we now call the Star of Bethlehem. In this session, she was guided simply to an important day, and she found herself standing on the hillside outside Qumran, watching the sky alongside others who recognized the significance of the night. They had studied astrology extensively and possessed charts predicting the approximate time of Jesus' birth. On that crucial night, referred to as the coming of the Messiah, they anticipated a celestial event. According to Suthi, the same teacher mentioned earlier, the legend passed down from his father indicated that on the night of Jesus' birth, 4 stars would come together from different corners of the sky, merging into one great light. As she recounted the scene, the 4 stars indeed converged, forming a circle before merging into a brilliant, singular light. From this radiant light, a beam shot down toward the earth, and she exclaimed, "In that light, he is born." They were near Bethlehem, and the convergence of the stars confirmed the birthplace of Jesus. Interestingly, it's noted that the Bethlehem recognized today may not be the actual location of Jesus' birth. The true location remains unknown, as the current Bethlehem was chosen as the designated birthplace, but it does not align with historical accuracy. The actual location of Jesus' birth remains unknown, but as the light shot down, indicating his birth, it was believed to be near Bethlehem. As they observed this celestial event, the energy around them was described as tremendous, with a vibrant and exciting atmosphere. The girl conveyed the intensity of the moment through her emotional voice, expressing amazement at being alive to witness such a remarkable event. However, the description provided doesn't align with typical celestial phenomena. While the Bible's writers may have described it as best they could, the account doesn't seem to match a conventional star. The girl mentioned that the light remained visible in the sky, both day and night, and was visible from everywhere. This characteristic doesn't align with typical astronomical occurrences like novas or exploding stars. The extraordinary nature of the event, as conveyed in her narrative, adds a unique dimension to the traditional understanding of the Star of Bethlehem.